My entitled coworker tried to take credit for my project, so I let her crash and burn. Let me tell you about the time a coworker tried to hijack an entire project I had spent months building from scratch, and how I made sure she went down spectacularly. I work in software development for a large tech company. Think enterprise solutions, AI integrations, the kind of stuff that makes your brain hurt if you're not into algorithms. I'm not saying I'm a genius or anything, but I am saying I poured blood, sweat, and gallons of coffee into building a new AI-driven tool that was about to be our company's flagship product. The idea was simple. Create a smart assistant for logistics companies to optimize routes, reduce fuel costs, and forecast maintenance needs before trucks broke down on the highway. We called it Smart Vision, and yeah, the name sounds like a pair of futuristic sunglasses, but whatever. The thing worked. I was leading the dev team, writing most of the core code, coordinating with product managers, and even doing client demos to get feedback during beta testing. Everyone knew this was my baby. I lived and breathed Smart Vision. Enter Samantha. Now, Samantha isn't a developer. She's in strategic partnerships, which, and I'm sorry if this offends anyone, is basically a fancy way of saying she sends emails all day and takes credit for other people's work. She has this polished corporate influencer energy, you know the type. Always carrying a MacBook she never opens, wears heels to Zoom meetings, and throws around words like synergy and value alignment like she invented them. Anyway, one day she randomly starts showing up to our project meetings. No invite, just pops in. She says she wants to understand the product better, to help with positioning it to external partners. Fine, sounds like a good idea, right? Wrong. She doesn't ask any technical questions, doesn't take notes. She just nods a lot, occasionally goes, interesting, and then leaves halfway through. Weird but harmless. At least that's what I thought. Fast forward 2 weeks. My manager sends me a company-wide newsletter that just dropped, and there's a spotlight section on innovative upcoming products. Guess which project is listed? Smart Vision. And guess whose name is featured in the little blurb as the person leading the initiative? Not me. Samantha. I actually did a double take. I thought maybe it was a typo. So I messaged her and asked as politely as possible what the hell was going on. She replies, "Oh, I thought we were all collaborating on this now. I didn't think titles mattered. It's about the team, right?" Cue the blood boiling. But I kept it cool. I forwarded the message chain to my manager along with our original project charter showing I was the lead. My manager was equally confused and pissed. He promised to talk to the comms team and get it corrected. But that's not where it ended. Samantha didn't stop. She started scheduling external calls with partners without telling me, using slides she made that were filled with outdated information, fake metrics, and buzzwords like blockchain enabled. We don't even use blockchain. She basically Frankensteined pieces of my old presentations into this monstrosity of a pitch deck. Then she had the audacity to send that deck to one of our investors. I only found out because the investor, someone I'd personally demoed the product to, emailed me directly and said, "Hey, got this deck from Samantha. Didn't look like what you showed me?" Yeah, no kidding. That's when I realized I had 2 choices. 1. Raise hell now and look like I'm starting drama. 2. Let her dig her own grave. I picked door number 2. So, there I was, pretending to smile at Samantha in the hallways while she walked around acting like she had cracked the AI code all on her own. She was telling everyone, especially upper management, that her initiative was going to be the next big thing. She even scheduled a full presentation for the executive leadership team to showcase her vision for Smart Vision AI. Now remember, this project was still technically under wraps. Nothing had been officially rolled out, and no one except our actual team really understood the full scope. Samantha was banking on no one asking too many questions, just enough to make her look smart, but not enough to expose her. And that's exactly where I was going to let her hang herself. Here's what I did. In the 2 weeks leading up to her big presentation, I made sure we rolled out a series of internal updates to the real AI tool. Major changes, new capabilities, a completely different interface. We updated our internal documentation and locked down all public-facing project pages. I made sure nothing Smart Vision related could be found anywhere, because it never existed in our ecosystem in the first place. Then I spoke with my actual project sponsor, our VP of Engineering. I laid it all out for him. the stolen content, the lies, the fact that Samantha had used confidential details in external decks without clearance. To my surprise, he didn't even get mad. He leaned back in his chair, smirked, and said, "Let's see what she does at the presentation. I want to see her explain something she doesn't understand." Game on. Presentation day arrives. Picture this. Samantha walks into the boardroom in a sleek white blazer, carrying her laptop like she's about to change the world. The executives are all there. CEO, CTO, VP of sales, and even legal. The room's got one of those giant glass walls, and one of those fancy touchscreen TVs that costs more than my car. She starts the pitch. Slide 1, vague industry trends. Slide 2, the problem Smart Vision solves. Slide 3, how her initiative could revolutionize our client operations. I'm sitting in the back corner silent, taking notes, waiting. Then she gets to the live demo portion. Yes, she had included a live demo of a tool she had never actually used. She opens a screen recording. It's outdated. It's from an old internal video someone on her team must have grabbed weeks ago before the updates. The UI doesn't match. The features are no longer there. It's like watching someone demo a VHS player in a room full of iPads. The CTO squints. The VP of engineering crosses his arms. And then the CEO, bless his bluntness, says, "This doesn't match what we've been briefed on. Are you sure this is your project?" You could almost hear the panic in her voice when she stammered out, "Well, I collaborated with the dev team closely." At that point, my VP looks at me and says, "Would you mind clarifying since you're listed as the lead developer on this initiative?" Cue the spotlight. I stood up slowly, walked to the front of the room, and connected my laptop. Then I showed the real tool, the current version, the one we'd spent months refining. I walked them through the actual features, explained our data models, showed test results, and even pulled up our Git repository history with timestamps showing the development timeline, with my name stamped across every milestone. Samantha turned redder than a tomato in a sauna, and then I dropped the final bomb. Just to clarify, Samantha was never part of this team. In fact, she asked for access to restricted files multiple times and was denied. She's presenting unauthorized material in this meeting. Some of it includes confidential data that was never meant to leave the product group. The legal department's ears perked up at that. You know what happened next? She tried to save face. She claimed it was all a misunderstanding, and that she was inspired by the project and just wanted to amplify the vision to the rest of the company. But it was too late. The execs weren't buying it. She was asked to step out so the leadership team could debrief. An hour later, I got a message from HR. Samantha will no longer be with the company as of this afternoon. Turns out, she had a history of skating too close to the sun. This was just the first time someone nailed her mid-flight. They offered me a promotion. I took it, with a bump in pay and a bonus for internal integrity. My name was added to the company's innovation highlight reel at the next town hall. My team was formally recognized. As for Samantha, she vanished. No LinkedIn update, no goodbye email, just gone.